And I think you've mentioned in the past that this whole idea of, why did God put the tree in the Garden of Eden if he didn't want them to touch it or didn't know that they would touch it?
You knew, of course. Yeah, I gave you free choice, and I told you don't touch it just because I knew you would. Because and then there's you know, like the first commandment that God gives is don't touch the tree. He said don't do something, and we failed that like right off the bat, right?
Right.
So then he tries it again with Noah, right? And he tells Noah, go build an ark. Noah doesn't question. Noah just builds it, you know? So it's like, all right, here's, he did that, but he didn't actually just make a choice. So like it's literally you can if you go through the Bible and you look at it this way, you will see that each time there's a choice. And then he gets to Abraham and he tells Abraham, you need to leave. Lech lecha, you've got to go. Abraham doesn't question it. He goes, you know? But Abraham is the first character in the Bible that argues back occasionally.
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah. Makes a choice. Says, wait a minute, why am I doing this?
And people look at some of the choices like, wait a minute, God tells you to kill your son and you don't question it.
Right, which was a problem, right? The
Right.
Akedah is a problem. It's like that, wait, and God said, all right, this is a problem. I'm going to stop you because now it's blind faith. You're not questioning, you're not thinking, you're not making choices. It's just blind faith.
I've never had it pointed out that way. That is kind of brilliant. I like that, we can't go on blind faith. It's okay to question God, but God
Exactly.
expects us to question him.
He put the tree there on purpose and told them don't touch it. And he put it there, and not told them, but yeah, it's okay. And that is, that's the evolution in the Hebrew Bible, is that questioning, and that ability to make choices and suffer the consequences. And and what's interesting, like those early ones are don't touch it, do this. Those are easy, right? It gets so much more complicated as the story goes on about the kinds of choices. There's so much more subtlety and nuance. Why do they have to wander around for 40 years? Because the spies made the choice to be afraid and then get everybody else afraid. And God says, now you got to wander for 40 years, And because Moses didn't stop them, Moses doesn't get to go into the promised land. So they get the choices that we have to make get more complex.
Which brings us to 2025.
Yeah, we have a lot of very complicated choices to make right now.
Right.
And we're being, particularly pushed to make choices along certain ideological lines, in some cases religious lines, that may amount more to blind faith and not actual exploration, not turning in and going, is this in alignment with what could be the better choice here?
And sometimes that blind faith isn't faith in what we perceive to be our God either. It's like we're shaping our God. I think anybody can kind of use that. It could be a big G, small G God. Whatever we are putting it on the altar of worship, we decide that what that is going to be shaped like. And so we shape our decisions based on what we really want rather than what should be.
False idols, right?